This is Jenny Naslund. In this tutorial, I'm going to be giving you a tour of TCI, which is the social studies curriculum we use at our elementary schools. So to get started, you'll log into TCI through Clever, and then it'll be loaded with the grade level that you are teaching. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click on Teach Now, and it'll open up your grade level curriculum. So when this opens up, this recently was redone, which is kind of fun. You will see that you have each of your units of study listed here. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up one of the units of study, Discovering the Social Sciences. This is the 4th grade curriculum. And you'll see at the top here, you have all your planning information. This is not visible to students. You have your lesson overview, you have teacher prep, how to differentiate instruction, enhance instruction, and blended learning. This is if you're, doing hybrid where you have some kids at home and some kids in person. So that's for the teacher to read. And then this breaks the lesson guides down into different components. So the whole lesson guide, everything is in here. And then these are all pieces that you find in this whole lesson guide. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this. But all of these features I'm going to show you, you could do in any of these other pieces of the lesson as well. So the present mode here, this is the mode that you would probably use with the students. It's super convenient because it literally goes through what you are teaching. And I'm going to shrink mine down a little bit so I can see my arrows. But when I'm ready to go to the next slide, I can just kind of slide along, hit the thing. It goes through what you need to do as a teacher to teach the material. So it kind of explains all of the pieces of it. And what to do before class. Oops, I'm kind of jumping around here. You'll see all your interactive materials are PDFs that you can pull up and look at or print in advance, and they would all be located right there for you, which is super convenient. The other thing that you can do is that you'll see that there's some that say student text. So you can actually pull up the student text. And you can see what it looks like from the student's perspective. Oftentimes, I'll actually do this with the kids and we'll read through it together. You'll see that they have a feature that it'll read for you. You can bookmark things. You can put it in Spanish. You can star the main ideas, underline, highlight, add sticky notes, save it to drive, and even print it. So there's tons of options that you can do with the student text. And then this is the digital notebook that some teachers choose to use. So after you read this, the kids work on the typing in their answers here. And as a teacher, as the instructor, you can see what students type in there. So that's the student text, again, embedded within this text. I'll also show you another way to get to those materials. And again, this is just kind of the overview of all of these things. These are all embedded in here. You can edit it. You can make a copy of it, you can print it, and you can also share this whole presentation with students. You can hit share, and the students would be able to get this exact presentation on their own as well. You can go down here, if you click on materials, this will talk about the materials that you need for the section that you're doing. So you can kind of see, okay, here's all of my printouts, everything that I need for that first unit. If I went to the second unit, I would have all of my materials. So it's super useful that you can pull up the materials for each unit in one location. This is the text again. This is the student text that you can pull up and look at with the kids or look at on your own. Video lessons. So for each unit, there are a couple of one or two video lessons. It's not much really. It's someone reading part of the text out loud. But for that section, it's super nice because there's a nice little video to go along with it. The notebook here, this is these interactive notebooks. It just kind of pulls them all in. You can see what they look like. If you click on next section down here, this is again in the student text, it'll actually just go to the next notebook so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes they don't have a notebook. Oh, there it is. It just took a while to load. So you can have, it kind of depends on each lesson. There's also a lesson game within each unit. So a lot of times at the end of the unit, I might have my kids play a game to review so that they're ready to take the test at the end of the unit. So there's some fun interactive games that the kids can play. Same with these vocabulary cards. The kids have access to these as well on their student version. which, by the way, for students to get to TCI, they're going to log in through Clever just like you did. So it gives the name, and then you flip it over and it gives you the definition. So it's a good way to review for the assessments. And then we get to the assessments down here at the bottom. So there's a couple of ways to do the assessments. These are the pre-created TCI assessments. One's in English and one's in Spanish. You can also click on the question bank, name what you want your tests to be, and then it'll let you go ahead and start picking questions from their question bank. And then you can create your own, remove the questions you don't like, those type of things. And then it can be assigned to the kids once you've created your what you want. So that's really useful that you can kind of go back and make it fit with what you want to have in there. So those are kind of the big overview of TCI. Some of the other things up here, you have your grades. You can go in and see how students were doing on their grades. You can assign assignments. So again, grades, you can see how they did on certain tests, those type of things when you look them up. Assignments, you can assign those notebooks so you know that they could read and then answer those questions. You can assign specific notebooks that you want them to do. So look at, this is the whole section. I can click on it and assign it. You can assign the whole thing at once as well, or you can assign individual pieces of it. And then your class is just going to pull up the kids in your class roster. So that's an overview of TCI, and like I said, it's a great program, and I think you'll really enjoy using it with your kids.